How's it going, people? Welcome to this week's episode of The Locker Room right here on Top 6 Fan TV. We have an action-packed show for you. The results from the weekend were so interesting, and we have the reaction to the Manchester Derby fallout, plus Liverpool getting a hammering, and we'll get right into it after this.
Oh, he's done it! Cometh now! Cometh the man! And it's that one, Bellingham! It's 8 goals in his last 8 Premier League starts at Emirates Stadium. Salah! Wow! What a strike by Mohamed Salah!
Ball down the channel, and it's played into Fernandes in the penalty area. Oh,
Aguero looking for the 1-2 Balotelli. He's won the title.
Haven't they? Here's Harry Kane. Kane goes for it! What a goal from in business here. Lukaku scores on second debut. It's only taken 14 minutes.
Yeah, welcome back. If you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Locker Room right here on Top 6 Fan TV. And with us in the house, Arsenal fan and first time appearance on the show, Ben. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mathew. And it's really an honor to be here.
Brilliant, brilliant. And our resident Man United, Ole in man, although his fantasy team is full of Manchester City caps. Mr. Manzi Kajina, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mathew.
Brilliant. And I think we'll start with the action at Old Trafford in the Manchester Derby. Fantastic result there. Manchester City coming to Old Trafford and toying with Manchester United. 2-0 loss there, an own goal, and then Bernardo Silva nicking the other goal for the citizens, as they are called. And Manzi, I don't know whether you still think it's Ole in or Ole out now, but that was really a deflating loss for the Man United faithful. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, thank you, Mathew. It was a sad game. I watched the game. I didn't expect United to win. I hoped we would win, but I didn't expect it. So the result of 2-0 was expected. Unfortunately, again, it was too easy for the opposition. I've always said the problem is with defense, and I don't know if you have to teach people how to defend, or they come to the club knowing how to defend, or I just don't understand how you can, have an own goal. Actually, that game could have ended 0-0. Yeah.
Really?
People say it could have ended 6-0 because De Gea saved us, but that's his job. He's a goalkeeper. He's supposed to save us. So that second goal from Silva, what was Shaw doing? Shaw was just standing. Had Shaw cleared that, it could have probably ended 6-0 or 0-0, because I don't see any attacking returns from United. We had only one shot on target, and it was straight down the middle. So best result could have been a goalless draw, and worst result could have been 5-6-7. But
what does this mean, Manzi? Let me just intervene there.
Yeah.
What does it mean for Ole? How much more time can he buy? Well, a lot of United fans were expecting him to get the sack going into the international break. We're seeing the likes of Aston Villa wield the axe on their manager, Dean Smith.
Yeah.
And of course, the other team that did the same was Spurs last week, and we also saw the likes of Norwich letting go of Daniel Farke after him getting a first win of the season. How much more time does Ole have?
Yeah, thank you for mentioning those teams. Those are really small teams and small clubs. For us as an established club, we take the long view of things. We don't act on the whims of games here and there, and we've done that in the past. But I think we were young. Now we are older and wiser. And the easy thing is to sack the manager and get another manager. But it's like a stopgap mechanism. We need to think long term, be patient. Of course, everyone is all out, after almost 3 years of not being the best. But I think we give him up to the end of the season. That gives us time to plan. That gives us time to come up with a good replacement rather than sacking him now and you have 1 week or 2 weeks to come up with a replacement. And you fail to get a replacement. Look at Newcastle. I think they wanted to bring in Unai Emery, right? And Unai Emery was like, guys, I'm Kawa here in Villarreal, so please don't even think about me coming. So for me, I think let him ride out the season. I don't think it will change much more. Even if you brought Pep to United now, I don't think United can win the league or win Champions League. So let's just coast. It's now costing to the end of the season.
Yeah, you're looking at a 12th place finish at this rate.
I don't know. That's
Ben,
not
what
possible.
was your take? Ben, what was your take on the shambles at Man United? Not only from the weekend's results, but from the last few weeks, so to speak.
What I could say, I actually expected a loss from Manchester United. City has too much quality for them. They definitely boss the midfield. United try to press up front, but their players they actually do not have the quality to actually press Manchester City. I think they need to bring in a number 6, a CDM to do that. I think Yves Bizuma would actually fix that hole so that it allows the likes of Fernandes and Pogba to be on the creative end. I also think people like McTominay and Fred and Greenwood should actually be put on the bench, and then you bring in Sancho and then Rashford on the wings, and then you have Cristiano Ronaldo. That I think will give them better attacking options. But then, as a whole, I also think that look, they have an aging squad. Your strikers in Cristiano Ronaldo and Cavani are 36 and 37 years old, and you have them playing games 90 minutes on Wednesday, and then have them playing again on Saturday. And this is not the Premiership of old, where you could field one strong team for Europe, and then you come back and when you're playing against, let me say, the West Ham or the Manchester Cities, you can afford to play your underage kids, your 17-year-olds or 18-year-olds. Every game in Premiership right now is a must win. Every club right now has players who can actually hurt you. So that means you have to put your best 11. You have to put your best 11 every single weekend. And I think that's where the problem is coming in from. The lack of depth in certain areas from Manchester United is actually affecting them. So when they get injuries, right now they're missing Varane. And I actually say that when Varane actually came, when he was in Tottenham game, he actually made that defense very solid. And then when you could see what happened when he came out of Atlanta, then in Manchester City, he also got off, and then you could just see that they're all over the place. Maguire and Luke Shaw just do not seem to, it's not a very good pairing. So they actually need Varane, who actually calms them down, and they're actually missing him. They're actually going to miss him a lot, so they better get him back. Maybe they go see a voodoo or a witch doctor to heal that injury.
Well, Solskjaer reacted to that then by starting 7 defensive players, at the weekend. And in my own view, I feel like he's straying away from the Man United DNA. And that is not the way that United has beaten up on Man City in the past couple of seasons. At least we know Ole has gotten one over Pep Guardiola in at least one of those fixtures over the last couple of seasons, playing their, bullish counter-attacking style of football that I feel that they strayed away from. Try to be a lot more defensive. Try to do the press when their players, they do not have the players to actually execute that system better than Manchester City, who are the kings of the press in the English Premier League, and you could almost argue almost in Europe, judging by their run to the UEFA Champions League final. But Manzi, what do you think Ole has to do, to not only keep his job but get the results back to a positive phase for United after the international break? He has 2 weeks, to think about it, and start to turn the results around.
Well, I think that when you look at United's squad at the beginning of the season, we had this top six fan TV show, and we made our predictions and said this team United had, after the transfer market, we're like, wow, what a squad! But I was not convinced. For me, it's not about the names on paper; it's the actual the game when you play. How do you respond? How do you play? And many of these players are just fake. You guys, they have names, but they just can't, like Maguire can't defend. Sure is not very good. If it was an ideal world, you'd sack the whole team. These 11 players, I don't know if your second 11 can help you get out of this, but these players, you can't trust them. You can't depend on them. Maybe you take out, of course, Varane is out. I don't know even who you can trust. Like when I think about United players, there's no one I can mention and say this, and that is proved on my fantasy team. I have 0 United players because I cannot trust any United player.
But
So
still, you're all in. You're all in. So how do you
I am
justify
all
that?
in, but I am players out. Like if we can, get like 2 or 3 or 4 players in the Jan window who can come and help us, especially in defense. If you can't defend, you can't win. Yeah, I used to laugh at Mourinho's tactics of defend, 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 because if your team can't score, then you can't lose. That's Mourinho's tactic. So at least you start from a draw, and then you go on to win 1-0 or 2-0. But
Yes.
even if Ronaldo comes in, Cavani, even if they score 5 goals and we concede 6, that's still a loss. So I remove Maguire. I don't know who you bring in. I thought Bailey was going to be good. Okay, one mistake. I think you can trust Bailey more than you can trust Maguire. Make a few changes. Don't play this same 11. These 11 players that have brought you this misery. So you have to look at the
Well,
bench and see again. Ben mentioned Sancho, but man, every time Sancho comes on, it's like we are 10 men on the pitch. Like I'm like, where is that guy? That guy can't hide. That guy disappears. So maybe you have to play
it's,
back. You have to. I don't know. You have to change the players that you have. Yeah.
my brother, commiserate with you. I am also all in as a national fan, and I'm really
But
loving
you're
the show.
mad.
I'm sure Ben will agree with me. And as the Arsenal faithful, we can definitely donate the likes of Sead Kolasinac, otherwise known as the tank, to you guys in the January transfer window on loan to show up
We
the
also have
United.
Mustafi available. If they also want a defender, we can also give them Mustafi.
We have Hector Bellerin also out on loan. Hecky B or Becky He, whatever they call him. But anyways, that's enough United trolling for now. But
The other day I was thinking maybe Varane would be a good, but man, after that West Ham game, I was like, maybe not.
but West
He
Ham,
actually is good.
we're going to get into what West Ham did to Liverpool. So that was not something to take for granted. Manchester United, your next 6 games or so, for sure. If Ole survives these next 6 games, I think he's going to be here for the next 15 years. Because I mean, I'm telling you, let me just read this out for you. So you, after the international break, you have Watford, you're away to Vicarage Road at Watford. Mr. Ranieri will be welcoming the Red Devils, and then you have a Champions League tie away to Villarreal, and then you return to the Premier League, and you have Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and then you welcome the Arsenal to Old Trafford. After which you play a tricky home game against Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace. I think if you can get past these
That's
games,
November.
if Ole is still the manager after after these games, then
After
I think
December 25th.
yes, because no, the Crystal Palace game is on December 5th.
December 5th. Okay.
Yes, and then after that you have your fixtures then ease off quite significantly. You have the bottom boys for like 8 games or so. I'm telling you, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still manager of Manchester United on the 6th of December, the day after Crystal Palace, I think he's going to be the manager of Manchester United until we are late into our 90s. So
No. He'll get through. He'll get through these next 5-6 games, but he'll leave at the end of the season. So yeah, don't get it twisted.
All right, by one day we see we have to move on from all things Manchester United and move on to Mr. Ben's team there, the Arsenal, welcoming Watford to the Emirates and going away. Some would say fortuitously, with a 1-0 victory there. Emil Smith Rowe, the blue-eyed boy or star of the show currently. Of course, that being recapped by his week being capped by him getting an England call, but him coming out with a goal. Ben, what were your reactions to what was your reaction to that game for Arsenal? Was it a lucky escape or was it a battle, battled and well-earned victory for the Arsenal?
Actually, I remember texting you last week and I told you that this game is actually going to be a banana skin. And the reason as to why I say that is that we had just come off a draw against Crystal Palace. We had then beaten, we had actually got a couple of good wins. We had then beaten Leicester, which we actually thought we were going to lose. And that had us actually believing. So I definitely knew that Watford was going to be a banana skin. And that's exactly what happened. Aubameyang didn't make it any easy for us. He actually had a potential hat-trick, but he was totally out of sorts. You could see this. He failed to control the pass ball that actually went to Saka. I actually didn't even know it was an offside rule, but he failed to control the ball, and then it ended up being an offside. That game was cancelled. If he had controlled and put it in, that's 1-0. The game changes. Then you also missed the penalty as well. And then lastly, you could also see that interfered with Odegaard's, I think, goal as well.
Yeah.
So you could see that it's like Murphy's Law was going on for him. If there was anything that was supposed to be going wrong, it actually did go wrong for our lead striker in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Emil Smith Rowe, of course, came in. It was actually somehow fortuitous, like you said. And of course, Ranieri will not be happy that that goal came off a throw that should have actually been given back to Watford as fair play. But I think it just showed mental grit for Arsenal. They just showed that they're actually not nice anymore. And that is something that I think they need going forward. Again, I state that Mikel Arteta is very lucky right now that he's one of the few managers that can actually put out the same 11 every single week. Him not being in Europe is actually a blessing for these guys, and that is something he should actually be happy with. And then I think the target this year is definitely just get to the top 4, get into Champions League. It's either Champions League or don't get into Europe at all. No, you don't need these Thursday games. They're just a headache. But 1-0, it was a good win. It was actually a win it was actually more of a mental win. We needed to just get over this hurdle going to the international break. Hopefully we have Thomas Partey back for the Liverpool game, and then we just take it one game at a time. I'm not getting excited right now. I still don't think Arteta is the one to take us forward. He has done what he can, and he has actually changed things up a little bit, brought in some new young talent that he actually believes in, brought in a system that he believes in. But I think going forward, we'll definitely be looking for much more experience. I'm actually sad to hear that the Leicester manager, Brendan Rodgers, is actually being touted by Manchester United. I actually thought it would be a good fit for us. But, well, we just take it one day at a time. That's what I can say. But a good win, good 1-0. You take your 3 points going into the international break. It's good for morale. And then we take it from there when we come back.
Thanks for that, Ben. Manzi, I mean, your reaction to that Arsenal resurgence, it does look like Arsenal are climbing up the table quite steadily. From, if you look at the first 3 games of the Premier League season, were rooted firmly at the bottom of the table, and Spurs was flying high at the top of the table after 3 victories. How the tables changed, and that victory against Watford of the weekend takes us into 5th position, 3 points above Manchester United, So, Manchester United from, being second in the league at some point, and now fifth. And, as a true Arsenal fan, I would say, Ole at the wheel, long may that continue. We look forward to, him sticking around for quite some time. But Manzi, what, as an objective fan, the objective fan that we have, come to appreciate you to be, what is your assessment of Arsenal's run at the moment, and Mikel Arteta as well? Do you think he has found the right formula? Is it is it sheer luck, dodge and score, as some would call it, or is the man, does he really have has he really unlocked the Arsenal for the long term?
Thank you. I think I would go with what Ben is saying. A lot of luck. If I look at Arsenal's previous maybe 3-4 games, 1-0 to Watford, then beat Leicester 2-0, then Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. You were so lucky to win that. Equalize that game. Crystal Palace was supposed to win. Then Brighton and Hove, goalless draw, and so on and so forth. I don't know if it's really a resurgence. I'll say maybe the opponents were weak, and it's good to celebrate. It's good to to look at. If you look at the Premier League table, it's just 3 points between United and Arsenal. And even what makes it even funnier is that Liverpool is just 2 points above Arsenal. So things in football change so quickly. You win one game and everything changes. You lose one game and Liverpool was at the top of the table maybe 3-4 weeks ago, but now they're in 4th position. So it's Premier League is 38 games. You have to try and win every game. And it's really early days. It's 11 games played, I think.
Yeah, 11
I
games.
don't think, honestly, Arsenal can finish in top 4. I think maybe top 7, top 8, yeah. But with the likes of, West Ham trying to come in there, with the likes of, I don't know if Conte, I'm not a big Conte fan, but with the likes of Tottenham coming in there, I think it will be difficult for Arsenal to finish, but they must keep winning these games. Yeah, like you've said, that 1-0 with Watford, take it, celebrate it, and rack up the wins. Because when you look at the table again, if I look at it here quickly, Liverpool has 6 wins and Arsenal has 6 wins. You can think these are completely different, but every game, every win is 3 points. So whether you beat City or you beat Leicester or it's Manchester Derby, whether you beat Burnley, it's 3 points. So you have to rack up as many wins as possible. So congratulations, Arsenal guys. Yeah, you can only beat what's in front of you. So it's good that you beat Watford. Yeah. So I think that's what I would say. Yeah.
Good stuff. And you mentioned Liverpool. We'll move straight into that. Liverpool, going to West Ham, and West Ham really, I use the word hammering them. Obviously, they're known as the Hammers, so pun intended. But, West Ham, a surprise package to very many people. Obviously, David Moyes, very organized tactician. His team actually played very well last season as well. And this season, he's taken it a notch higher without, a sort of superstar signing. If you look at it, it's more or less the same team, with the exception of the likes of Kurt Zouma, who came in to show up that defense. But the goals coming in there, an own goal by the man there in that picture, Alisson Becker. Although some did, a lot of Liverpool fans were not happy with that goal. They did feel that there was a significant amount of infringement on the goalkeeper that led to that goal. But we did see that, goals from Pablo Fornals and Kurt Zouma that followed, that West Ham really take serious attention to their set pieces, and they exposed the Liverpool team there, despite the brilliance of Trent Alexander-Arnold. This time it wasn't Mo Salah trying to pull him back into the game. Fantastic free kick in there from Trent Alexander, and Divock Origi there scoring a wonderful goal as well. But that wasn't enough for Liverpool. Ben, where do you think it went wrong for the Kop?
What I could say is that the Hammers really did come out like the Hammers that they were. They were very brutal with Liverpool. They took no casualties. They remind me of the old Bolton or the old Stoke team that was very deadly on set pieces. You've just talked about Katsuma coming in and strengthening their defense. They really do have a couple of bricks in the central pairing, and then of course with the pace of Antonio, he really did put some pressure on Virgil van Dijk, and he really was causing some problems. I think when you look at it, definitely Liverpool still is still one of the strongest teams in the league, next to Manchester City and Liverpool. They also have total depth in their squad. But what I could say is that they really they were surprised, and West Ham, you could really tell that they did what Moyes usually does, basically just counter attack. He made sure that he uses his set pieces very well. Antonio was there to more or less distract Alisson during the set pieces, and then Katsuma just comes running in. So they made use of what works for them, and they just stayed steady at the back, and then just made sure they actually counter attack. I don't think Liverpool saw that coming, and you could clearly see that they maintained possession of the ball for the later stage of the time, because they definitely know that their passing would get them there. But West Ham just held strong. Just held strong and played the old English way. You get the ball in your box and then just clear it out, and then we take it from there.
Yeah.
How long this can go on for Moyes, we wait and see. Right now, he's also in the UEFA Europa League as well, playing every Thursday. He's still on relying on Antonio, so you just have to sort of pray that he keeps Antonio healthy, and then he just keeps on also racking up his wins. Surprisingly, I think he's beaten almost everybody in the top four. I think he beat Manchester City. He has beaten Liverpool. I think he also beat United. I think it was a 1-0 win. So he definitely has gotten his wins over the big boys, and he is one to look out for. Just need to see how the fixture congestion, when it comes in around December and November, how that plays out. Usually that's what separates him from boys. Actually, November, December, and Jan. So we just wait to see what happens there. And then if he's still in that position by end January or mid-January, after the FA Cup also comes in, then we see that he will definitely be pushing for a top 5 or probably top six running, together with Manchester United, who are also now top 6. Let's not let Manzi get away with that. He thinks they're going to push top 4, top 6, top 7. Yeah.
Manzi, second place is up for grabs. Yeah.
Pardon?
You can ask Matthew. Is up for grabs by the
Mathew has United in top 4 in his predictions that we made at the beginning of the season. So he has more faith in United than you, Ben.
I don't think.
Manzi, where do you think?
I don't think he anticipated this.
Anyway, let me speak about the Liverpool game.
Where do you think West Ham will finish?
Where do you think what? West Ham?
Yes.
West Ham would finish maybe 7th or 8th. Yeah, this is a flash in the pan. Don't even think that they are coming for top 4. No. There's a lot more than winning. I don't know. You guys remember Brentford? Brentford was beating up guys left, right, and center. Now you can't even. They are so far down. You don't even want to know where they are. So I know people. Moyes is a good coach, good manager, but it is Premier League again. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's 38 games. Even in that last, Feb, March, April up to May, guys can lose like 10 games in a row, and you're like, is this the West Ham that we saw in the first 10, 11 games? So yeah, I think to maintain that intensity for a whole year is for the big teams, big squads, big.
All right, let's move on to one of the other big boys. Chelsea, Manzi, welcoming Burnley to Stamford Bridge and coming out with a 1-1 draw. Were you surprised by that result? Goals coming in from Kai Havertz, Reece James with an assist, and then Mathew Vidra with the J. Rodriguez assist. They're nicking one in for Burnley. And of course, Burnley going on in true Burnley fashion to defend that to the death. And as Thomas Tuchel said, they were lucky, to escape with the 1-1 draw. But what was your reaction to that? Was it Chelsea feeling the impact of missing Lukaku and Kai Havertz and and Timo Werner, or was Burnley indeed lucky?
I was shocked. I was very shocked because Burnley is what, 17th or 18th? I was shocked that Chelsea can draw with Burnley and it's 1-1. I expected Chelsea to score more. At the beginning of the season, I thought Chelsea, for me, was my favorite to win the league. They are still on top of the table with 8 wins and 2 draws and 1 loss. So, they're still good. I have no faith in Lukaku. He was in United and left for a reason. So I don't think he'll be scoring 25, 30 goals this season. Maybe he'll score maybe 10, 15. He's not, Ronaldo-esque kind of player. But Chelsea is a well-oiled machine. Like, if you look at my fantasy team, of course, the problem with Tuchel, he keeps rotating the defense. Like, you put Azpilicueta, then he didn't play. Then you put James, then he didn't play. Then you put Rudiger. So I just like the way Chelsea plays in terms of defending well and the way they move forward and pass the ball to the strikers. It's just that their strikers are not, returning. Like, Kai Havertz will miss like 4 chances and score 1. So it was a shock. I expected Chelsea to win. So yeah, that's my reaction. It was a shock.
Yeah, Ben, Chelsea, despite that result, still leading the table on 26 points after 11 games played, 3 points above Manchester City. That obviously got a result at Old Trafford. Do you think Chelsea can sustain this period until, Timo Werner and especially Romelu Lukaku return to give them a boost up front? Because it does look like they're starting to wear out a bit in the attack and are failing to break down teams.
Okay, thank you. That's a very good question. I actually did watch that game, and Kai Havertz actually missed a couple of goals, 1 or 2. He's not actually as sharp. And of course, they definitely miss the big man Lukaku in front of goal. And I think Thomas Tuchel is actually doing a very good job in keeping the squad fresh and rotating. And that's one of the advantages that he has over other clubs, that he has depth, so he can keep rotating the club, the team. Mendy definitely has been he's actually the best keeper right now, and he's actually holding that defense really tight. It's just that I think that he has to keep rotating to keep the legs fresh for Champions League and then also for the Premiership as well. It was, like I said, this weekend was definitely one of those weekends that could actually go south. The goal that Burnley actually scored was against the run of play. It definitely was against run of play. It was more or less like 1 chance, 1 goal, and then they made it count, and then they sat back. They definitely knew that when they come to Stamford Bridge that they wouldn't get many chances, but when they did, they actually had to make use of them. Teams like this that are very stubborn, you have to make sure that you put them away within the first 20 to 25 minutes. If you keep it close, up to second half, around 75 minutes, with 15 or 20 minutes to go, you definitely know that anything can happen. And that's what happened to Chelsea. Anything could actually happen. So I think it's more or less like a learning curve for them. They definitely do miss Timo Werner, I think. We said was out, and then also Lukaku. But stubborn teams like this, you have just got to put them within the first 20 minutes. Otherwise, they start believing, and then they just have freakish goals coming up. And that's exactly what happened to Chelsea. I think the betting house, the house won this weekend, because everyone expected Chelsea to win. So I'm sure whoever is betting expected the Chelsea win. So the house must have made some money this weekend. But Chelsea still up there to actually win the title right now. City will definitely struggle because they have no striker. But that's my take on that game.
Brilliant. And I think we'll have to leave it at that for now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. link widely and wildly. We thank you very much for tuning in. Ben, thanks for coming onto the show. Manzi as well. And we'll catch up with you guys next time, same place. And, have a great week and Godspeed. Bye-bye.
All right. Good night.
Right. Bye.
Bye-bye.